So we're going to get the proceedings started. We're going to introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is a futurist well known for his forward thinking. Started in bullet board systems, which preceded the internet, to his work to unlock the first iPhone. And he has always been at the forefront of brand new cutting-edge technologies. In 2007, his company wiped millions off the New Zealand Yellow Pages, thereby migrating many big advertising onto Google. So in saying all of this, this young man has a lot of vision. He has great foresight, and we're actually really lucky to have him here with us today. James reveals what is coming up online and now and also in the future, and will give you a chance to become involved in ever more connecting the app-centric online world. He's a specialist, he's a great individual, and can we please put your hands together for Mr. James Grace. He's in the house. Let's give him a warm welcome. Here he comes. Love the music. Suit, tie. He's just chilling.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, thanks everyone for coming this morning. It's like awesome, everyone getting up, and so pretty much if you can see there's not that many people left, so everyone here is hardcore and dedicated, right? Yeah. Or crazy. So, you know, a lot of the speakers are trying to sell something, or they've got a program, but actually I'm here today just to give you, Jamie asked me to come here. He flew me and my team down to do his internet marketing. And he said, look, while you're here, I want you to talk to all of the crowd because I really care about them, and I want them to know everything that you're doing for me. So that's awesome, huh?
Yeah.
Like, so you're going to get access to the latest stuff that we're doing with Jamie, and yeah. So, and this is stuff you should definitely take notes on because you're not going to hear this from anyone else. All right? Okay, I'll give you. Awesome. So I'll give you a bit of background on myself. I talked about the Yellow Pages. I was in print marketing, and in 2007 the tide was turning with real estate, and we were doing a lot of real estate marketing. I worked for an Australian company, ASX listed, PMP, and they were really focused on print. And we were getting a lot of money from the real estate market, printing out, killing lots of trees, distributing them into people's letterboxes. And what happened was the real estate market started to tank in New Zealand. And so they were like, we're going to have to cut back staff. And it fell onto me as the operations manager to fire 30 staff. So it's actually really hard to fire 30 staff, especially when you care about them. You've got to go through and you've got to tell each person what's happening, and you've got to do it in such a way that you don't get sued as well. And so I managed to find new jobs for 30 staff, move them into other areas where the economy was growing. And so that was really awesome. And then they said to me, wow, you did such a great job. No one sued us. We've got another 60 for you to fire. And I was like, yeah, you know, can't we just go and get more money? Like, you know? And they're like, oh, no, it's just a global slowdown and that. And I'm like, well, you know, and you know, we're focused on print, but I've been doing this online stuff, and you know, people are beating our doors down. Can we not do that stuff? And they're like, yeah, you know, if you submit a 45-page document and explain the whole plan to everyone, then maybe we'll look at it. So missioned out like 3 or 4 weeks just writing documentation, because big corporates, they require so much documentation. Analysis paralysis, they looked at it, made all these figures, and they're like, yeah, you're going to do this? Yeah, okay, well, if you can do that, we'll save the staff. And I'm like, okay, cool. So what I did was I went out, I got the Yellow Pages, and I'm like, who are the biggest advertisers in the Yellow Pages? And so it's pretty easy to find. They're the full-page ones. And I contacted every single one of them personally, and I said, hey, Yellow Pages isn't going to happen anymore. It's like, it's over. People are using it to prop up their monitors, for students use it for toilet paper, it's used as to prop the door open, right? I mean, what else do you use Yellow Pages for? It's over. And they're like, yeah, you know, you're right. What's the alternative? I'm like, Google. Just halve your budget and spend the rest on Google marketing. And then people are like, wow, Google marketing? And I'm like, yep, Google marketing. Google is totally where it's at. So back in 2007, we built the business. Through 2008, we started hand-picking the very best of Yellow Pages clients. Our first week of taking the money from Yellow Pages and putting it into Google, in their first week, we took 350 grand. And it was like extremely high margin, like 300 grand worth of margin. We're like, whoo, awesome. And customers were happy. But this is the effect on the Yellow Pages. By 2009, they'd lost $338 million. I mean, and if you look at what they said, they were like going on about there were all these restructuring costs and operating profit, and they had all these reasons, but hey, the real reason was people were over the Yellow Pages. It wasn't working for them. I was speaking to clients, they were paying $15,000 just for a small little ad, and guess what? They were getting 15 inquiries a year, $1,000 an inquiry. They weren't closing them. Yellow Pages used to be simple, and then, so that's 2009. Following year, 2010, largest loss ever, $1.4 billion. And still, it's write-downs of chartered accountants' fees, and but the fundamental business remains stable, and all so they're still absolutely in denial. Fast forward to today, now they've partnered with Google. So, but it took a large corporate like that to lose all this money. All the banks that we all hate, they lost so much money in this because they've all got their head in the sand. So, and I guess what I want to talk about now is the change that's happening right now. So back then there was a change away from Yellow Pages, and now I want to talk about the change that's happening with Facebook. Now, Facebook, we all sort of are like, oh yeah, we've got to get a Facebook page, right? You know, you get your Facebook page and it's essential, and then what? No one comes there, and you like beg if your friends for some likes, and you're like, oh, you know, got my Facebook page up, and then maybe like some speakers have said that you've got to put lots of content up, and you're like, okay, I've got to write lots of content. But I just want to bring back into line what this stuff is, just to make it a little bit more real. Okay, so I'm going to give you some practical things that you can do, some nuts and bolts stuff, some real stuff, because a lot of the there's a billion people on Facebook and all of this stuff, and it's like, wow, that's awesome, but then there's 100 million fax machines out there, right? And so if you get a fax machine, wow, you're going to tap into that market. It's not as easy as that. And so I'm going to give you some nuts and bolts, real stuff that you can actually do in your business, right? This is an example called TripAdvisor. Who's used TripAdvisor? Right? Massive. TripAdvisor changed hotels and motels the way they occur to clients, right? So if you go in and you have a bad experience at the Novotel or the Vibe or the Sheraton, then you get up on TripAdvisor and you tell everyone about it. It's like they have to retrain all of their staff and realise all of a sudden, wow, we're getting so many leads coming from TripAdvisor for free, like just handed to us. We're going to have to deal with this TripAdvisor thing. And that's what's going to happen in every business. Every business, people are going to start talking about your business. They already are, and they're going to talk more and more about it, and they're going to make decisions online based on what everyone else says. This means retraining your staff. This means that when you have a problem, that you're going to have to make it right. And even when you've got someone that's being unreasonable, you have to realise that that person has access to public forums and could destroy your business. So it's really, really important to get a handle on this. If you've got some staff that are customer facing, they're going to have to be trained. Just like hotels and motels had to train people to be nice and give them chocolates, and when there was anything wrong, just bend over backwards for them. And not only that, you've also got to encourage people to like you and write good things about you and give them incentives to do that. Because it doesn't matter how many problems you solve, people are still going to have problems. So just like on TripAdvisor, when a hotel is just awesome and it doesn't matter what they do, someone's going to have a bad day, right? That means for every one complaint, you want to have like 100 awesome reports so that when people go through, they're like, yeah, well, that's just someone having a bad day, right? So it's critical that your frontline staff are aware of this. Previously, they'd call up or they'd write a letter, right? Now, they know that they can get on Facebook or Twitter or something like TripAdvisor, and there's going to be more things like TripAdvisor that will come out in little niches, little areas, and people will talk about it, and that's the sort of thing that people are making their buying decisions on. So, need to get a handle on this. Okay, what I'm going to show you now is something we're introducing with Jamie, and this is about how we translate, how we get positive feedback, and how we get happy customers, and how we get to build our customer database. So on Friday, Jamie talked about building your customer database. Now, I want to say that you don't want to build your customer database on Facebook, because then Facebook has your customer database, and they're going to charge you to use your own customer database. So right now, if you get likes on Facebook, that's awesome. So, you know, like maybe you get 100,000 likes, maybe you get 1,000 likes, yeah? And then you want to post something up on your Facebook, and then what happens is Facebook goes, yeah, well, you know, there's not that many people online, or it's not really relevant, so we're only going to show, say, 10,000 of the 100,000. And then they show you what your reach is, and then they offer for you to pay them to post out to more people. Well, hang on, it's your customer database, right? So you need to use these tools to build your own customer database. So what we've developed here is called the word of mouth wheel, okay? So this is a way, I'll just let everyone copy that down. So this is a way of, you know, all the free offers that everyone's saying? Okay, I'll just define what a free offer is. A free offer is something that actually has to hurt. It's not a McDonald's voucher that's a hamburger when you buy a big fries and a drink. You know, it's got to be a genuine offer. It's got to be something like, you know, the hairdresser example that Jamie used. That was awesome. We're like, hey, we're giving away free haircuts. That's something that goes viral. That's something that people talk about. That's something that people really appreciate. You know, people are, they're immune to the 10% discount. You know, we have to present people with offers and look at the lifetime value of the customer. So one free haircut's not going to bankrupt your business, and that customer's going to be worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 over the lifetime. So we have to be projecting forward into the future and going, I'm going to spend this money now on marketing, and I'm going to take the money from that I normally would have spent with Yellow Pages, radio, newspaper, paying Google for AdWords, paying Facebook, and I'm going to give it back to my customers. That's where I'm going to spend my advertising money. Sure, there's a place for advertising that works. So as long as advertising is paying for itself, continue to test and invest, right? But right now, word of mouth is just huge. And these communication tools, they're changing the face of marketing. So an offer is something that's really an offer. It's something that people go, wow, what an awesome deal. It's something I'd normally pay for. And hey, why not sell it at the same time? So the people genuinely know that an offer is an offer. So when they see it, they are filled with desire, right? So free haircut, wow, I'm going to go and I'm going to collect on that free haircut. Now, before we give them the free thing, we want to go through some steps. And that's what we're currently doing on Facebook, but you can use this model in all of your marketing, right? So we say it's free, but we do want people to do something. Obviously, we want to get their name, and we want to get a whole bunch of info about them, because we want them to be our client, right? So it's not just we're giving stuff away for free, we're giving it away for free if you give us your details, if you're going to become a client, you know? So likes aren't everything. So we say we're giving something away if you liked us, right? Well, as I said before, when you get some likes, what happens is Facebook charges you. And then that's where your customer database exists. So it's all fine and dandy to be getting likes on Facebook, but what we want to be doing as well is capturing this data. So all of this info here, you might not know, but with, when you tap into the back end of Facebook, everyone's got access to this. You can tap into the API, which is an application programming interface, right? So your IT person or somebody that you find on Elance or one of the great places, they'll be able to tap into this information. They'll be able to ask your customers permission to get this information, and you're just going to love this info that you can find out about your customers. This is just awesome. Like, when I first saw this, I was like, are you serious? Like, people are giving us this information for free? Like, age, what websites they go to, the videos they watch, who their friends are, and then all this information about their friends. When I tap into the Facebook API, I can find out all of your friends. I can find out all of your, what your friends like, what you like, how old you are, when your birthday is, when your friends' birthdays are, just everything. It's all available. It's just incredible. What you subscribe to, what your friends' work history is. Yes?
Is that when they connect using Facebook Connect, or is that another way of using the API?
That's when they use the API, and Facebook Connect is one application for it. Using the API, what you can do is you ask permission. Now, our experience, shockingly, is that 65% of people, when presented with a dialogue that says, hey, can we have all this information about you and your friends, your email address? Facebook will give us your email address. Now, that's what I call building a customer database. Like, what an awesome customer database. You've got the person's name, where they live, their age, their birthday, all their friends, their likes. You know everything about them. Everything about them.
Sorry, can I just ask a really dumb question? What does API stand for?
Application Programming Interface.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you get that?
So what you do is you get your IT person to put an app up on Facebook, and the app on Facebook is just like a web page. That's all it is. So you just go on, you say, hey, I want to be a developer, and if you've got someone that'll do that, or you can go onto Elance and get someone to do that, and tap in, and then you can get all of this information out. I'm doing it currently. Yep, it's amazing. Yeah, like, this stuff is so good. Like, I mean, you know, one of the crazy things that I can get permission to do, like, we just discovered this the other day, and we immediately implemented it in our business, and we were like, wow, this is incredible. Like, you know what we can do? Like, I can get permission from you to talk on your behalf to your friends. Like, I can say, wow, hey, Mary just bought a widget from us, and she loves it. And or I could say I could say that I'm you and say, hey, it's Mary here. I just bought a widget, and I can say that to every single one of your friends and post that on your timeline. I was like going, what? You know? No. I guess what Jamie asked me to do was come and say what we're doing, and I got this little form, and it said, you know, this is what I can do and what I can't do, so I'm not up here selling everything. So you can go on Elance and you can find someone, or you can, if you're interested in coming to South Africa, in January we're going to South Africa on a platinum tour, and so I'll be there the whole time. We'll be doing safaris and stuff, and you can talk to me then about it if you like. Have to join Platinum and you have to come along. So what I'm saying is this is just awesome. I mean, if you can start thinking about what you could do in your business if you had all of this data on your customers and the ability to talk to not only your customers directly, because you get their email address, but all of their friends. Like, wow. I mean, and this is available right now. And it's only really big companies like TripAdvisor and who else is doing it? Groupon that are actually just testing this stuff. So,
how do you get the permission to use the API
okay.
to extract the data?
Okay, you ask so you apply for a developer account, they just give you one instantly, it's all automated, and then what happens is when the customer comes, say, to your Facebook page, it requests permission. And it says, oh, to use this app, you need to give them your details. It says, this app just requires the following. And that's where we go back to here, right? So people, if you just ask that permission, people are just going to go, what, whatever. If you say, free haircut, people are going to go, oh, yeah, next. Yeah? And then you get all of those permissions. Yeah. And by the way, when you get these permissions, use them well. Because if you start spamming people's friends' walls, you're going to have not only one person who hates you, you're going to have everyone hating you. It's just got to be a decent offer, you know? It can't be the McDonald's voucher. It's got to be something that's worth sharing. Something that you post on someone's wall. Hey, I just got a free haircut, and I thought I'd get you one too. Right? I mean, that's, yes.
Could you show us an example in action?
Perfect. Yep. Okay. So this is something we did for a little suit company in Auckland, right? They're called Frank Casey Suit Hire. And what we did was we ran a contest on Facebook, and we used all of these different, because it's illegal to run, from Facebook's laws, it's illegal to run contests on Facebook now. Previously, you could just say, hey, everyone come and like things. Now, you're not allowed to. So we built an app on Facebook. So this is running on Facebook. We're allowed to do this, and it's the Frankie by Frank Casey contest. And this is the leaderboard, right? And so what happened was people went in, and they hired a suit from Frank Casey, and he said, oh man, you look awesome. Take your photo, stick it up on Facebook, get your mates to vote for you, and you could become the face of Frankie, and we'll use you for all of our modelling, right? And we'll give you an iPhone, and they're like, all of these teenagers were like, what, awesome. And then they all put their photos up, and then they got people to vote for them. So this guy here, Michael Dunstan, he's just incredible. He's from a little town called Tauranga. They've got like 80,000 people in it, right? Everybody in Tauranga knows about Michael Dunstan. Everybody. Like, he got 796 people to vote for him. But right back here to the offer, the desire, and the steps, the offer was his. He on his own volition, went out and got everyone to vote for him. Everyone knew about it. The whole town was abuzz. Frank Casey, the guy, the manager of the store there, he was like overwhelmed. Everybody was talking about it. he was quite upset actually when he didn't win, and so was William. William had a fan group but on the back of this competition. William started a fan group, and there's all these supporters, and everyone loved him, and the fans were fighting. And when he didn't win, they were going, seems like it's some of that Illuminati shit. like all of these conversations and everything, they're all going on inside Facebook. People are like, here's part of the API we tap into, and this is a tool. So we're through Facebook in our application. We're allowing people to chat with each other. So this is Mike's one. I mean, they got comment after comment after comment. All these people are interacting. And you see here, we've got vote and share now. In order to vote, you had to share first. So back here, we've got an offer, we've got a desire. So he has actually said, hey, come and vote for me. And he's gone to his squash team and his church, and he went to everybody he knew, vote for me. He wanted to get the iPhone, he wanted to win the suit, he wanted to be the face of Frankie. And it's special customers like that that'll tell everybody. Just imagine if one of your customers told 800 of their friends. Now, he was competing with other people in the town. So all told, there were like 3,000 or 4,000 people that voted in Tauranga. I mean, if you had a suit hire business in Tauranga and it wasn't Frank Casey, you'd be closing down. They were queues out the door. Like, everybody knew about it. And think of the social proof at school. You think of these guys, you know, they're, hey, I'm winning, I'm real cool. All the girls at school are like, man, you're it. So just think about if you've got an offer and if somebody tells that number of people, you know? Like, these young kids, they've got more friends than me. Like, I don't have that many friends on Facebook. Like, I'm in the hundreds. These guys... These are a new generation of people. None of them cared and none of their friends cared about giving us everything, all of their information, and allowing us to talk to them about awesome offers that Frank had. So, it's really awesome. We actually did. We worked with a company called Sugar and Spice, and they did awesome dresses, and it was similar sort of results. Because, you know, the girls were actually even more competitive than the guys. Loving it, absolutely loving it. But hey, it doesn't just have to be for young people, because if you've got an offer like a haircut, or whatever it is that's genuinely good, and you're giving it away for free, people are going to jump through hoops and give you all their information for it. But please, use it responsibly. So this is when we started out with Frank Casey, 132 likes, and a lot of businesses I like this, you know, 130, 18 talking about, that's quite good. Afterwards, we did 2 6-month campaigns of this, 27,000 likes, 929 talking about it. So that's impressive results, but the real results are the bottom line, right? And that's the sort of thing that getting those number of people talking about it is the sort of thing that actually puts dollars on your bottom line. You know what happened? Google now thinks that suit hire means Frank Casey. When I went into Google Trends recently for Auckland and I'm typing in suit hire, it goes, do you mean Frank Casey? Like, that's... Yeah. We collected 3.3 million friends of friends. Their birthdays, all the information about them. This is for a little suit hire company. We can talk to those people. We can post on their wall. Like, this stuff is so powerful. The tools that we've got access to now, they take marketing to just the next level. Like, it's outstanding. It really is. Now, one other thing I'd like to talk about is just to bring Facebook back into proper context, Facebook and Twitter. You know, what they are, they're very public, but they're just like email or fax or the phone, right? Or a reception counter. They're another communication mechanism that we use to talk to our clients. So what do we currently do if we have a phone call? You know, a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs have rules. They're like, I always want to get the phone, or I want to answer the phone within 6 rings, right? We need to implement these things into our business with Facebook and Twitter and every way that our customers... It's more important, right, to be answering a Facebook query straight away than it is to be answering a phone call, because everyone gets to see how awesome you are. Like, when you deal with someone and you deal with them really, really well on Facebook, that's up there for the public record. So, if you've got a process in place for answering the telephone, you need to have a process in place for answering your Twitter, for answering your Facebook. We've got to deal with this on the level of what it actually is. We hear, billions of people, and like I said, there's 100 million fax machines, but you still make sure you have a fax machine and you have some staff trained to use it, and then you take the faxes and you put them in a pile and you're like, okay, let's deal with these faxes in order, and within a day we deal with the faxes. Or if you've got email, set up an autoresponder, a lot of you already will, and build up the expectations. Say, hey, thanks for your email, we're going to get back to you within 24 hours, right? Or whatever time that you can manage. These are our opening hours. If we don't get back to you, if there's an email problem with spam, you know, please phone us. We care about you. Because what happens when someone sends an email and it doesn't get answered is then they get onto a public forum and they're like, oh, these guys are useless. So have a process in place for dealing with this as if it was a fax, as if it was a person coming in to your reception counter. Now, another thing about this is the personality type of the people that deal with the stuff within your organisation have to be caring customer advocates. They have to be really, really polite because it's a public forum. So just as you wouldn't get the grumpy guy that does the boxes out the back to be dealing with the clients, or if you're in a bad mood dealing with clients, you want to get the caringest, nicest staff member in the world to be dealing with the stuff. Just like you have a happy person on the phone for your reception. Just like you try to smile when you're on the phone. All of those things are really important, and in this forum, it really matters. Okay, so we need to have a process in place for dealing with this, just like it's any other business form of communication, right? So here's a few stats. We've got 65% email opt-in rate. So of everyone that voted, we've got 65% of people that agreed to give us their email address and opt in for emails. Can you imagine that sort of response? If anyone's done internet marketing before, this is just outstanding. I mean, 65% is unheard of. People get really low percentages of people that want to give out their email address. But with Facebook, it just goes, hey, it shows a dialogue. And who reads dialogue boxes? Everyone's like, oh, okay, next, whatever, I just want to get to that thing. Yeah, it's asked you permission, and subconsciously you know it has. You're just like, oh, I just want to get through, right? And there's this generation of people that's coming up now. Young people, they just don't mind. They're born into this public world of social media, and they're existing on a completely different plane. They're like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, I want everyone to know about it. So there's some, yes?
So I'm getting a real good feeling that within 5-10 years, a lot of the younger generations, probably the Z generations coming up and becoming like adults, will walk into a shop, a retail shop, and say, what are you going to give me for free before I buy something? Because that's really what the whole internet space is like now, isn't it?
Yeah. Everyone's expecting something for free, but at the end of the day, customers have got a right to get some of that money back. Where we used to use interruptive advertising, and we used to say, you know, put it into the newspaper or take out ads, and we've got to actually reinvest that money into giving it back to the customers, because that's what they expect now. So we take a section of our marketing budget and use it for word of mouth, right? Use it for creating awesome customer experiences where people are your advocates and they go and tell everyone about it and they just love you. You know, take a chunk of your money that you would have spent in the yellow pages or on the newspaper or on the radio, you know, and actually give it to people who are gonna love you and continuously talk about you. That's where the power is these days, you know.
The strategy changes if you've got a product that you're selling versus a service in a clothes shop, for example. Because like depends what you're defining as free. So I can customers come into my clothes shop, like John just said, and what I could give was free styling advice. Now the perception of free styling advice versus a free shirt. I mean, styling advice is like education forever. A free shirt wears out. So it depends on what you're defining for free,
Absolutely.
whether it's a service, advice, education, or just a bit of your product.
Well,
really.
You know what else? We're going, wow, what can we use all of these tools for? Because you can build these apps and you can get your IT guy and your web people to build. What about for that particular business? What about you? Because you've got all of their info and their sizes and you know what they purchased, you're now attaching all of that info to your customer database. What about when you get something that matches the red dress that they bought, a top that comes in, you contact them and say, hey, we've just got this red dress in that matches that top. And then what about that goes into their social wardrobe on Facebook?
Yeah.
You know, like you can use all of these tools, share it with their friends, they find it useful, stuff that they buy, it goes on there, their friends can go in and talk about it, everyone, creating forums and creating places for people to interact with your products. That's what it's all about. And when you do that, people enjoy it. They're like, wow, I've got my social wardrobe and I put stuff in there. People like to buy things and play that consumer game where they buy stuff and then they go and show their friends and friends, oh, that looks good, and then they feel good.
So you're not actually giving that red top away for free, but what you're doing is saying, hey, that dress you bought last week, I got this hot red top that's going to go with it. Come on in and see me. And so you're actually teasing them back into your store.
Yep.
Right.
Another one is maybe you've got size 6s that nobody buys and you actually do give them away for free, and people go on. And then just like the deal sites do this, don't they?
Yeah, right.
Deal sites do it. And they're like, oh, we've got you know, a whole bunch of red shoes and everything's sold out except for the size that no one buys. But what's a great thing is when you're, to use this example, a clothes shop, and you use the customer database, you know who all their friends are, the ages of all their friends. I mean, this stuff is amazing. Yeah. And you know their shoe size, you know their dress size, you know that their buying habits, you know everything about them. You can make offers, compelling offers to people that they're so happy to receive, you know. So, and that's it. We put, I am the emperor. I have no clothes. So. If anyone's got any questions, they can talk to us. I think we've got a question and answer session later, or you can come and have a chat. Thanks a lot.